If you're not doing webinars and live events, you're missing out on a massive opportunity to generate brand awareness and revenue. In this video, I'm going to show you why we do it and why we do it for our clients. So it's Tuesday, it's noon. We're here to talk about industrial marketing. We got a new background set courtesy of Riley, doing a little change up here in the studio. So if you guys are new to the content, we talk about industrial marketing every single Tuesday. We've been doing this for multiple years. All right, so today we're talking about growing industrial leads with webinars, virtual events, etc. Have you guys done any webinars or virtual events? Put I have in the comment section if you have done it as a company, as a person, in your past life at a different company. Put that you have. This is what we're going to talk about today, because this is a tactic that can generate revenue and opportunities for people. Let's go to the board. So number one, the topic has to be educational. That is a must. It has to be educational. You have to be providing some type of value to the audience. This cannot be a pitch type webinar. So if I did a webinar and I was like, guys, let me tell you all about how our industrial marketing agency is better than everybody else, you guys would be bored. The whole reason why we do these lives is because we're trying to produce good content that can educate you guys, give you a leg up on the competition. Take the last 9 years of our experience and 25 plus employees here that are doing this every single day, and me on the front line doing it every single day with strategy, with implementing tactics, with testing things, seeing what's worked. We take all that information and we give it out for free to everybody that is subscribed to our YouTube channel or following me on LinkedIn or following our company page on LinkedIn. It's educational. If I just talked about why we're the best, you guys would be like, this is boring, and you click off. You have to start with a topic. The topic cannot be, hey, we've got some new product lines and we're just going to go through all the specs on these new product lines. Or, hey, we're a CNC machine shop. We're an injection molder. We're a robot integration. We're a press manufacturer. Whatever it is that you do, and we're just going to go through why our stuff is the best. That's not really going to educate people. So you have to talk to your sales team. Number one, pick the people that are going to be in. Ideally, you have some sort of host. If you can do it in one, this is ideal. So if you can have somebody that can run the event like we're doing right here, be the person talking and providing the education and filling the gaps and answering questions, that's ideal. But a lot of companies don't have that person that's willing to do both. So you need a host for the event and then a person that is going to be the main talking point. But that person cannot just come and show up and throw up information. So talk to your sales team and be like, hey, what are the top 5 frequently asked questions you get? Or what are the top 5 problems that you run into, that your potential customers run into when you're talking to them? So you went to this site, you went to this facility, you talked to this big OEM, something happened, and they're coming to you with issues, with problems. You need to write those things down. So if you've got a big team of salespeople, ask them all, hey, fill out this Google Sheet doc. What are some common questions, common applications, common issues that you get? And then start to form a topic around. That could be one show. Five main problems that our products solve every single day. That's kind of the first point, is setting the topic. But how you deliver it is more important. So I can have a topic here talking about event. I just went through and said, this is why we're the best at doing the events for you as a potential customer of ours. You guys would be bored. So good topic, but poor delivery. Now, by me going through and saying exactly how we do the events for us, why we do them the way that we do, how we do them for our customers and why, and how we have it set up, then that's going to provide you with some education. You can go and DIY it yourself, right? You have to start with the topics. There's a plethora of topics. People, whenever we talk to new people, it's like the first thing, I don't even know what we're going to talk about. And so you have to look at it and take 5 steps back. Sometimes you can't see the forest for the trees. You're too far in it. So you have to take a step back and be like, all right, if somebody brand new was talking to us, what would they want to learn about? So you can rank people in different levels. Brand new, don't really know about us. What do they want to learn? What are the problems they have? Maybe it's a specific industry vertical. Aerospace has different problems than automotive, than different problems than medical. What are some applications, some case studies? Not going through the case studies and only talking about it and just saying, hey, here's what we did for this company. Again, it's not about you. It's about the viewer. That's how you get the most engagement. So you have to pick a topic that you can deliver educational content on that's going to provide them with some sort of value. And it cannot be value of they know our brand and they want to work with us. In the instance of a case study, don't talk about how you guys solve the problem solely. talk about, hey, here's a common application that we see in this industry. And these are the typical issues that they run into. And here's some ways and some things to think about when you're going into these issues of how to overcome them. And specifically, here's an example of what we did for one of our customers that provided them with XYZ results, right? So it's just looking at it differently from a different lens and saying, I'm not just going to tout myself, I'm going to try and provide as much value as possible. So number one, you got to pick an educational topic. There are millions of them. You just have to take a step back and think, like, what do I know? What have we done? What are some things that we run into? And take some time and brainstorm and ask other people at the company about common questions that they get asked, common issues that they run into. How do they solve them to start to form this topic? Create it on a Google Sheet and just throw the topics out there. We do it with all of our content. We do it also from an SEO standpoint. What are people searching for? What are people most engaging on? So we do a lot more data behind to support it, but we have a running spreadsheet of, what is it, Riley? Probably like 100 topics right now at least. Yeah, Riley's saying, 100 topics right now at least. We throw them up there, we go through them, and then I say, do I want to talk about these things? And I just say yes or no. So start with that educational topic. I can't beat that home hard enough that it is about them and providing them with value and less about you trying to sell something. The sales will come down the road. Go into it and say, I'm trying to provide people with value to push my brand out there and give them some information and educate them and help them out in their daily lives, in their daily job. And then second, if something comes from that from a revenue standpoint, which it will, then great. But step one is you got to educate and provide value. Let's talk about the pre-marketing. Pre-marketing. If you're doing a show, then we call it pre-show marketing, just like trade show pre-show marketing, just like a live pre-show marketing. Let's just call it pre-marketing. So number one, ideally, perfect scenario, you got to treat this like a trade show. So with trade shows, we like to market a minimum of 3 months in advance. Now with a webinar or a live event or something like that on LinkedIn, some things you can't schedule out based on the streaming platform and whatnot. Maybe you're at least looking at 2, 3, 4 weeks in advance. You've already got this thing planned out. You post it up there and now it's time to drive traffic. You can start to tease people on it. There's a lot of different ways around this. So number one, if you're doing a live event on social, you're using a third-party streaming software like we do with StreamYard, then I think you can only, create the event 7 days in advance, Riley? 7 days in advance is the soonest that you can create the event on StreamYard to push out to YouTube and LinkedIn. But there's ways around it. So if I'm doing it that way, great. I know 7 days in advance, I'm going to create the event and I'm going to create graphics and posts and push it out there and invite people to it, etc. But if you want to have a little bit more runway and you maybe don't want to do it through social, you can create a page for the event. So create a landing page, have people sign up for it, have people register for it, and you can do that 2, 3, 4 months, a year in advance. You can start to market it out there. The key is you have to create what you want people to go to first and think about how you want that interaction to be. The second thing is, for those that don't go to it, that miss it, what are you going to do for those people? So if you're doing a webinar, are you going to have a replay access? And so what we did for one of our customers was we created the webinar landing page. Sign up was, I think, 4 or 5 weeks in advance. As they signed up, once the event happened, they got notified, they got access, it was added to their calendar, etc. But for those that couldn't watch it live or didn't even know about it, people that we couldn't market to, after the show was done, that's when we started continue to market and just changed on the landing page, sign up below to sign up for the replay, limited replay access. So the thing is, when you put all this effort into creating a piece of content or an event like this, and it doesn't have to be tens of thousands of dollars, it doesn't have to include 100 different people speaking, even if it's just you yourself, or if it's you and one other person at your company, market this thing 4, 5, 6, 8 weeks in advance. If you have a landing page set up for it, have people fill out the form. Hopefully that form goes to your CRM system like HubSpot or Salesforce. So you can say, these people sign up for this event. And then that way you can market to them afterwards. But then still, people that you missed on the beginning pre-marketing, you can still market to them as long as you change whatever the sign-up form is and say, sign up for the limited replay access. It's going to expire in X amount of days. So create a sense of urgency. Say it's going to expire in 30 days, 60 days. They fill it out and they get the full replay access. But the key is, if you have an event There's two things that are going to come from it. Number one goal is get as many people to the event. Actually, let's say three. Number one is get as many people live eyes viewing the event as possible. So that's part of the pre-marketing. To do that, you're going to have to use social media, email marketing, trade shows, phone calls, whatever you have to do from a vertical standpoint, the different channels. You have to post content out there. It could be teasers that are in video format. We had one today. Lenore asked me, hey, Kyle, can you create a video today talking about our live? She actually asked me this yesterday because I wasn't supposed to be in the office yesterday, but I ended up coming in. She said, can you create me a video for the live that's happening today? And I said, sure. I ended up doing it this morning. And she said, can you also create me one for the one on July 30th? So I'm doing, selfie style. Hey, be sure to join the live that's happening about this topic. That's one form. Graphics is another form. Long form content posts is another form. So you can push them out through social those ways. You can do them through email marketing with just text. You can say, hey, be sure to check out this event that we're having. Would love for you to sign up below or attend it. Even if it's on LinkedIn Live, you can still add the link to the event 7 days in advance, and they can say, yes, I'm going to attend, so they get notified on LinkedIn. But if you're not doing it through that and it's just a regular webinar, you can have them sign up on that form. So you've got to look at the pre-show marketing. So number one, you want to try and get as many eyeballs on your content live as possible. Number two, those that you can't get live, you have to have some sort of plan to continue to market it out to people. And then number three is going to be, what are you going to do with that content once it's done? Just take a look at my feed on LinkedIn or YouTube and my channels. We shoot the live event like this. From this live event, step one is going to be chop it into a shorter piece of long form content. So what is it, Riley? It ends up being like 20, 30 minutes. Take the full live, and then we chop it into one long form piece of content. And then from there, you can do so many things with it. You can go, hey, I want a piece of content, a long form video that's just answering the questions from the people that were live. We've done that too. You can say, I just want to grab these 3 points, and that's its own separate long form video. Or you can chop the whole thing up, a 20-minute live, into 20, 30 different videos that are short form, 60-second vertical format posts for shorts on YouTube or for content on mobile for LinkedIn. But that's the way to do it, is that you have to have a plan in place. Like, once I have this content, what are we going to do with it? What happens with manufacturing companies, old school, they do a webinar. It's going to be talking about this technology for this heater band or this screw and barrel or this cutting tool or whatever it is. We got this new technology. We're going to have a webinar. You get 100 people to show up. They did the webinar. Maybe you have extended replay access to it, but then that's it. And so it's like you're missing opportunities to take the long form content, chop it up into small content, and push it out through the same social channels and say, hey, you guys missed our webinar where we're talking about this technology. Here's a glimpse of it. To then try and drive them back into your funnel, to consider putting them into the top of the funnel. They fill out their information. You send them the link to the full replay. Then you start to market to them slowly over time. But you have to do that pre-show stuff first. You have to be thinking, what am I going to do to get as many eyeballs on my stuff right now? And then what am I going to do afterwards? Now comes time to the event day. It does not matter if this is and I've only got 4 of these. So on the event, the day of the event, what are you going to do? So leading up to the event, you should have been sharing this stuff on social. What we've seen is that even on our content, we maybe get 10 people live, 50 people live. We've had at one point over 100 people live watching a piece of content. That's great to get people live, but where the magic happens is in the replay. Because everybody's busy with their calendar and with their day, like today at 12:21, there's tons of people that would like to watch this content and would like to watch this live, but simply can't because of their schedule. They have a work day. It's not like it's 7 o'clock on a Saturday night or 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night. You're posting this during the day, so you can't expect everybody to be there live. So you should have been marketing it ahead of time, pushing out on social, promoting it, and inviting people, et cetera, about the event. So now the day of the event comes. What you want to focus all of your attention around is still driving more people to that event. You have to make sure that you've gone through whatever you're going to present. You want to make sure that you're not going to show up and throw up. You want to make it like lively and fun and less strict and robust. You do not want it to be boring. You want to have a little bit of entertainment there. So you're going to educate people and entertain them. That's the ideal state. Sometimes we entertain a little bit. Usually I have to bring Alex in for that. But you want to try and produce the highest level of value as possible. And it can't be like, you're going to be nervous. It's going to happen. That's just the nature of the beast. The more you do it, the less nervous you get. But on that event day, you want to focus all attention around that. Don't have things before it. Don't have things after it. Be able to relax and just ease into it and do that event, and make sure that you have somebody on your team that is going to respond to comments as they come through. Does not matter if it's a webinar and you guys are doing it through Zoom or something like that, closed off. That doesn't matter, as long as people are going to be putting comments in, and even if you, oh, Kyle, we'll have a Q&A session at the end, that's fine. But you want somebody to acknowledge that chat. As people have comments that come through, have somebody on your team that could respond to those comments while it's live, grab the topics or grab the questions that they want to throw into that, so that way they can continue to keep it going. But it's all about continuity here. You don't want to have many breaks. It's kind of like live TV. Any breaks are bad. So you want to continue to keep it moving, have a strict schedule where you're saying, we're going to open with this, we're going to plan it. You should have done some pre-production planning like we do with our customers. What's the opening going to be? What is the format going to be? When is this person going to talk? What are they going to talk about? That's all organized. When it gets to the event, you want to focus all of your attention on that event day. You want to make sure that your video quality is good, but your audio quality is better, because bad video matters less than the audio quality. You don't have to have every person on screen. If you wanted to share your screen, the presentation you're going through, that's fine too, if it doesn't have you. But it should be something in the beginning where it's got a picture of you live in the feed, or there's some sort of static image of you, so the audience can know who's talking about this subject, whether it's an engineering topic, operations topic, or technology or things like that. A picture of the person while they're going through the presentation. It just has to be somewhat engaging. So on the event day, focus all the attention on the event. Make sure you let everybody know, as many eyeballs as possible. It doesn't stop there. Let's talk about, what are you going to do with the post-show content? What are you going to do? So number one, we already talked about, you're going to try and chop up your content from that event into new content. Number two, you're going to want to make sure that you are continuing to market to those people that couldn't come to the event live. You're going to continue to market to them for the replay and extended replay access. Maybe you can charge for this event, depending on the business you're in. Maybe you can be like, hey, $49, you get full extended replay access. Depends on what you're doing and how valuable this content is. But you want to hit the people after the show. You want to chop up the existing content. You want to push it out onto social post the event. You want to ask questions of the people that did attend. Hey, here's a survey. If you could help us out, it's 3 questions. Keep it simple, super simple. It can't be a 10-question survey. It's just got to be maybe 3 to 5 questions. What did you like most? Was it the topic, the speaker, the value, whatever? Put some questions out to be able to send everybody a survey that did attend the event live. Maybe even if you get 6 people, it's better than having nobody. So you want to send out a survey after it. You want to then be able to take that list of people that attended that event, and then the next time you have an event, you can do some pre-event marketing to those people, saying, hey, I know you got a lot of value out of our ABC event where we talked about DEF. We've got another event coming up. I just wanted to see if you're open to subscribing and registering for that. You can do that as part of your marketing as you continue to build out this list. But after the show, the content you get, this is where the most value is, because you can continue to chop that up and push it out. You want to make sure that people understand that once it's done, it's not done, right? But traditionally, manufacturing companies would just create the webinar. This is going back the last 15 years. They do the webinar, they're like, cool, that was great. How many people do we have? We had 300 people attend. That's awesome. We're going to send them a post-event survey. There is no excuse as to why you cannot do that. So focus on post-show. You're going to be doing the event. You're going to be taking all the content and chopping it up, posting on social, posting on YouTube verticals. Take maybe some smaller long-form pieces of content, send it out through email marketing, links to your website that's going to be still saying, hey, the event happened, but get a full extended replay access below, fill out your information, and then send them a link to that unlisted YouTube video. So you may want to remove it off of your YouTube page if it was a live event. If it was a webinar through Zoom, it's different. But if you guys did a live event on YouTube or a live event on LinkedIn, you may want to take that down at some point if you're trying to like gatekeep it and block it from anybody in the public being able to see. But that is where you're going to see the most value. Telling people that you appreciate them coming to the event, telling them that you appreciate them taking their time out of their day to see it. You should be doing that during the event, especially after the event. But then from there, look to continue to harness those relationships, create those networking opportunities, create that bond that you're going to have with these people to continue to market to them for future events and try and provide them as much value as possible. If they don't go to the event, that's great. Like, that's fine. I'm not going to take it personal. Maybe they didn't get value out of the topic. The first time they liked it, maybe the second time they're like, oh, that topic's not applicable to me. I'm not going to do it. But maybe they'll invite their friends. But it's all about what you do after the event to keep the momentum and then scheduling the next event after that. From a frequency standpoint, you need to be doing this at least once a quarter, I believe. I think that everybody has the capabilities to do it once a month, as long as you get creative with the topics, creative with the people, even if it's a single person, make sure it's the right person to be facing in front of the camera and being engaging with the people. But you want to be doing it ideally once a month through LinkedIn Live, YouTube Live. You can do a private closed off Zoom webinar or Microsoft Teams or one of those programs, but you want to continue to do it. As soon as you get that momentum going and you get some good feedback, you want to schedule the next one and the next one and the next one and continue to push it out. One secret sneaky tip is, and something that we're going to be doing at IMTS this year, I'm going to be going to IMTS. How about doing a live from a trade show? So if you spent all this money, $20, $30, $50, $150,000 on a trade show, you got your big booth and all your stuff and your people there, do a live from that event. Do one per day for just 30 minutes, 45 minutes. Hey, what's going on at this trade show today? What things are you going to talk about? What's some new information? So you want to change up the scenery. If we were just in the same place all the time for every single event that we did in every single video, it would get boring. So if you start to get that momentum, then you go to a trade show and you're like, we're going to go live at the trade show. That will require you guys to hire somebody like us at MFG Tribe or another company like that can stream everything live for you. But that's what it's about, is keeping that momentum going, changing up the scenery, changing up the topic, continue to get engagement. And the more that you do it, I can guarantee you it will result in business, but it's not like advertising. It's not like I'm spending $10,000 a month on ads and I'm getting $100,000 a month return. You have to put in the work. It's organic. And then the business will come down the road. It could come right away, but the business will come down the road. And at a minimum, you'll have a significant increase in your brand reach and your brand awareness. If you guys got value out of the content, hit the subscribe button below, turn on notifications. If you're not already following me on LinkedIn, head over there, give me a follow. And if you want to listen to this in podcast, every major podcast platform has industrial sales and marketing with me. I'll see you on the next one.